All right, on the flip
Something
side of
else.
this game, we got to talk about. Oh, go ahead, Kenny. My bad.
No, I was just going to say something else. I think that you're seeing early on in this Baylor season is that they're trying to figure out what defense they want to play. You see them switching from that zone back to man, and they're having some problems in both of them. You saw it in the first half of that game. But towards the end of the game, they were able to use their toughness and physicality to kind of outweigh those deficiencies on defense that they have. But I think that they're just trying to figure it out. And so that's going to be something that as we move through the season, I'm going to be excited to see how he kind of tries to decipher which teams he's going to play that zone, if he's going to mix and match every game or, kind of run both. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing to look forward to as well.
Yeah, speaking on the physicality of that Baylor defense, it really pushed St. John's more out to the perimeter, but also not just forcing them out there. St. John's really thrived from three, 58% from three from that group. So that's the flip side of this double overtime thriller that we have between Baylor and St. John's. You have on one side, as we mentioned, St. John's felt like they controlled and had the momentum of this ball game as they really fought their way back through it. And when you look at that towards the end of regulation, also the first overtime, you're thinking that St. John's will pull this out. But how do you take this now if you're Rick Pitino and also this roster, guys, when you look at what was there, what was in your hands of trying to knock off the 13-ranked Baylor Bears, and now you're on the flip side of that and having a letdown?
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily a letdown, right? I mean, with a big lead like that, and you don't win the game, it's early in the season, and this is teaching points for Rick Pitino. This is why he's one of the greatest college basketball coaches of all time. That film will be broken down tonight, and they will know exactly what they did wrong, and they will be told exactly what they did wrong. At the end of the day, make a couple more free throws, the game's over. You don't want to put that on a player like Zuby, who had an absolute outstanding game, 22 points, 10 rebounds. He just missed 2 free throws in crunch time, which a lot of people are going to remember. But these opportunities for these teams this early in the season are growth opportunities. And this St. John's team is for real. And we all thought this last year in terms of St. John's. We thought that Rick Pitino was just going to be put in there because he's Rick Pitino, and he's going to will this team to an NCAA tournament. And they were close. And you know what? They made some adjustments. They got some retention. They pulled some guys from the transfer. They did a couple different things, and they're going to be right there in terms of winning a Big East championship. There's no question about it. They're one play away from knocking off the 13th ranked team in the country. Just one play away. And that's what this game came down to. They looked terrific against New Mexico this past weekend. I mean, when you watched Rick Pitino coach on that sideline, you'd never know that he was coaching against his son, the way that he was coaching that game. It was fun to watch, the Pitino versus Pitino matchup. But, man, if my dad was on that sideline coaching against me, man, I would hope he wouldn't be nearly as intense as Coach Pitino was in that one. But this St. John's team is for real. They're for real. And they're one play away from winning this game. And he's going to go back and he's going to dissect this film, and this team's going to bounce back from this, and they're going to be better for it, and they're going to compete for a Big East championship.
Yeah, I think one of the big things that some people are overlooking at this point is that St. John's was 8 for 11 from 3 in the first half. When you shoot like that, it's going to be tough for any team to stay with you. And, if they're shooting 35, 40%, they make 4 or 5 threes rather than 8. I mean, that's a 9 to 12 point difference, and they're up by 18 in the first half. So it really just kind of evened out. I know that they made 6 threes in the second half, which is still a lot, but I think that that's a big difference, and that's where that giant lead came from. So once those things kind of evened out and Baylor's defense was able to do more inside, and they weren't just knocking down basically every 3 that they're taking, that's a big difference in the second half.
Yeah, 100% on that, Kenny. All right, we're going to take our first break here on After Dark as we wrap up that Baylor St. John's thriller. And yes, I'm in agreement with Matt, I believe Kenny as well, that we have the game of the year so far between Baylor and St. John's with that double overtime win for the Bears at the Bahamas. So we'll see everybody